Two power conference transfers, they've become a lot more. Tie game at 22. Evans taking the outside jumper.
You know, you're starting to see a lot of different shots taken. Shantae Evans firing up threes. Candace Bond shooting outside threes. You're seeing them change the way they want to play this game.
Deladon missed the shot to the rebound, tipped out to Bellocchio. Pulling up on Lucas, and what a start for Candace Bellocchio, the first into double figures with 10.
And Candace Bellocchio really wants this game tonight. You could see her fierce intensity. This is her last year. She wants to take this team to the promised land.
Deladon drawing single coverage, left that shot short. And Deladon has started off 3 of 7. Here is Bond firing the jumper short. And a foul underneath will go against Hofstra.
And Bond's really starting to think about it. You can see Krista Kilburn-Stavesky yelling out at Candace Bond to move the basketball, look and not take the first wild shot you have. Every time you can get Delaware to turn the ball over or get them to not score on a possession, that gives you an opportunity to really push the ball.
Here is Lucas. And Parker looking for position. Now Deladon off the screen. To the elbow, this is Jocelyn Bailey, her senior guard, off the bench. And another Delaware turnover.
These are these opportunities now for Hofstra to really try to extend this lead. They're hanging around, but they're not really getting on top. And this is a big part because Delaware is one of these explosive teams that before you know it, it goes to a tie game, and next thing you know, you look up, it's a 12-point lead.
Loper racing in. Malone able to work hard for the rebound. And then to the jump hook. Thomas able to pull it out. And a shot clock reset for Hofstra. Thomas driving in and out of control for a charge. That could have been on either player, Bailey or Karam.
Well, you know, a play like that, she's got to learn as a freshman when to pull it up, when to pull out, when to reverse the basketball. They haven't found the way to reverse the basketball except to the first play, and they ended up getting a three-point shot from Caitlin Loper.
Lucas again, given the room, and Malone rebounding. So between the top 2 scoring teams in the CAA, as Bellocchio picks up another foul, but just based on percentages and numbers, the 2 teams have learned to grind it out. Hofstra playing great defense on the All-American Deladon, and they've got a 2-point lead on their home floor on Verizon. Fios One Sports. This first half being brought to you by Watch ESPN. It's the ESPN Network's live in your smartphone, tablet, and computer. For further details, go to Verizon.com/FiosTV online. With Scott Green, Ralph Bednarchik, 2 of the best in the CAA, definitely one of the best in the country in scoring. The Hofstra Pride at 76.1 points per game. Delaware not far behind them either. They're scoring 72, but that's some great company.
Well, and some great coaching. These 2 coaches, Tina Martin and Krista Kilburn-Stavesky, these 2 coaches are the elite. And in game preparation, they do the best job. How else could you possibly take 2 of the top players in the country, combine them for 7 points in 13 minutes? You have done your job. So what they are conveying tonight is that Shantae Evans, Elena Deladon, somebody else is going to help win that game for them tonight.
And so far for the Hofstra Pride, that first somebody is Candace Bellocchio. For Tina Martin, though, she has not found anybody to completely step up. Lauren Carra leads the Blue Hens with 7, and that is right at her season average. And it's Bellocchio back to the free throw line. This will be 2 for Bellocchio. 5 team fouls on Delaware. And Hofstra at the free throw line already, 8 of 9. And Bellocchio able to flip 2 in.
This is going to be one of those games where free throw shooting is going to win a game for one of these teams.
Kayla Miller back of the game running the point, and the Pride pressuring her. Kara able to get it back. Now Kara fires an uncontested 3, and the rebound poked out. Bailey up and over Malone.
And that's a big second opportunity for Delaware. You get them to almost force a turnover, take a bad shot, but then bail them out.
Loper answering back with a 3.
And she hit that shot with 2 blue jerseys in her face. And boy, I'll tell you, this kid can shoot the rock.
11 for Caitlin Loper. And Hofstra's lead is 5, matching their largest. Kara sliced in, and she is off to a great start.
Well, she has a nice supporting cast here, and you have to pick and choose your poison. Who are you going to come out and guard?
Kara was preseason All-CAA, honorable mention. Bellocchio puts in the floater.
Boy, Bellocchio has come to play tonight. She is known as the assist master, but tonight she's putting it in the basket.
Bellocchio has been a top 10 in the country for most of the season in assists. She's just under 6 per game, but not to this kind of scoring extent. She has 14 points to lead everybody in a game that features Elena Deladon. Shot clock at 5. Kara, Parker, over Malone.
Boy, a nice play, and you see the battle going down inside between Deladon and Candace Bond. They both ended up on the floor, and now you got to begin to hope that they can keep this intensity up. But Candace Bellocchio is bringing down the house tonight.
Bellocchio with 16 has already matched her season high. And it's come here with 5.5 to play in the first. Now Bond with Thomas on the double. They got it out of Deladon's hands. Miller, Kara, shot clock at 3. Kara doesn't realize it, and it's a shot clock violation.
And one big statistic tonight, and I don't even think you have a real stat on this. When Deladon touches the basketball, I want to know what percent it is that she can get to the basket. How many times tonight has she caught the ball and had to give it up because she had nothing there?
I'd say the easy answer, Scott Green, is 100% of the time.
I was going to say the same thing, but I didn't want to speculate. We like to give exact numbers here.
Our statisticians would frown upon us giving out that kind of false info. Matt Taub, our statistician tonight, gives me a dirty look. Loper off on a 3. And pushing forward is Lucas. And Lucas forced into a travel as Adriana Thomas won a foot race and made her stop.
And here's the difference in defensive transition. Hofstra was able to beat the Delaware offense down the court on the break, so she had nowhere to go. And when you can do that, you have to have them stop dead in their tracks.
Loper shooting over Richards. Deladon has 6. She's had some tough shooting games this season and some slow starts, so this is not exactly foreign territory. Deladon on a tough catch, and she will go to the line for the first time.
Well, when Deladon catches the ball underneath the basket, there's only so much you can do. You're giving up 5 inches there on the baseline, and when she catches the ball, she's going straight up with it. And she's also, Ralph, she's a terrific free throw shooter at 91%.
A 7-time CAA Player of the Week. In that meeting against Hofstra, she also destroyed the Pride at the line, where she was 10 of 10, scoring a season-high 41. A 3-point game as we come up on 4.5 to play, opening half. Bellocchio trapped and got it to Thomas. Thomas into Richards, threw it away, and Deladon with a steal.
You got to take care of the basketball on every possession. You can't give Delaware an opportunity to really climb back here to try to tie this game.
Thomas now leaning on Deladon, given the defensive assignment. Look at the size advantage here. Towering over Thomas to the step back and knocks down the jumper with the shot clock at 1.
That's how good she is, and I don't care if you're up against 5'3", 5'4", Adriana Thomas, or you're up against a 6-foot player. She can knock that down.
Thomas knocks down a 3.
And talk about a freshman not backing down. She just had a shot thrown in her face, and she comes down the other way and gives it back.
Krista Kilmer-Stavesky telling me this morning during shoot-around, Thomas is just one of those kids that believes she's going to win at everything. And a highly touted freshman from West Haven, Connecticut, a travel against Akima Richards.
And that was created because Caitlin Loper rotated over and cut off the lane to the basket. That's outstanding team defense.
9 turnovers by Delaware. And the Pride still holding a 3-point lead with a 3 from Thomas on Verizon Fios One Sports. Fans, you can enroll in the Verizon Cheddar program. You and every person who referred to Verizon can get $50 apiece, so everybody wins. You can earn up to $600 in rewards a year, including reward cards good at hundreds of top name retailers with a Take American Express. It's a win-win situation as your friend gets the entertainment, power, and reliability of the network, and you'll both be rewarded. Check out the Verizon Cheddar program by enrolling today at sharethernetwork.com/7. Hofstra with a 3-point lead here on Delaware. They have held Delaware All-American Elena Deladon to just 10 points, but it's been Candace Bellocchio, perhaps the biggest story offensively for Hofstra, with a team-high 16.
Well, she's known for her passing ability, but tonight she's showing her scoring ability. This is what she did back in Staten Island days 5 years ago, and she's getting it done, pushing the basketball, beating them up the floor, finding the seams, and even knocking down little pull-up jump shots. But she is putting it on a show tonight. And what another drive to the basket, and she's putting them up, and these are some crazy shots.
She's already tied her season high with 16, career high is 21. She's done it on 5 out of 6 from the floor, 6 of 6 at the line, also 4 assists. And it takes that kind of effort to pick up a program's biggest win. Bond knocking down a jumper.
And that's where Bond is at her best. When you get her right on the basket, foul line, she can knock that down all day.
Delaware shooting 47%. Here is Lucas. That one went halfway down, and Loper found the miss. Hofstra shooting 48%. Loper was demanding the ball in the corner. Now took it to the basket. It was blocked by Parker. And ahead, Lauren Carra. Carra found Lucas inside.
And that's the type of break Delaware wants to run. They're going to push the ball. They're going to take advantage of your mishaps. So you got to make the most out of every possession.
9 points for Lauren Carra, a junior from Denmore, Pennsylvania. Thomas taking Lucas off the dribble, and she'll shoot 2 more free throws.
And if you notice that Hofstra's really having an easy time tonight, getting that first step and getting to the basket. And that shows that Delaware might be getting a little tired. If you notice, they don't go to their bench a lot. They rely heavy on their starters. But Adriana Thomas, only a freshman, not afraid to take it to the basket.
Thomas at 74% off on the first. Thomas out of West Haven, Connecticut, choosing Hofstra over good programs, Miami, Boston College, St. John's. And she wanted a great education to be an athletic trainer, which Hofstra has her major, and she makes the second. And she's going to be the starter once Bellocchio graduates. Deladon facing Bond. got the screen, and a bone-rattling screen from Sarah Acker, and we have a foul. Delle Donne was knocked down. The question is, it's on who? It's on Maureen Malone, picking up her first, but that puts Delle Donne at the line for a 1-and-1, with Hofstra on the single bonus with 8.
Well, you're talking about closing out and making sure somebody doesn't score. But you know, when you put Delle Donne to the free throw line, she is one of the best in the business.
Matter of fact, she's 4th in that business. And she has had some remarkable nights. She's hit 30 points or more 23 times in her career. Missed a free throw. Wow.
Well, sometimes we say too many good things about a player, and this is what happens.
She came in having only missed 16. Bellocchio, and here is Bond, now defended by Delle Donne. Taking her off the dribble, and Delle Donne just snatched it away. Now in the post, able to turn, and called for steps.
And Delle Donne really trying to fight for herself on the inside. She's not happy. She's not a player that gets a lot of turnovers called on her, but tonight they are stifling her with their defense.
Bellocchio using the screen of Devin Green, who just checked in, but a wild shot off the glass. Jocelyn Bailey and then Miller. Delle Donne now tripled, turns and still scores.
And she's so tough when she catches the ball with her back to the basket. She has a great pivot move to the backside. And you know, what a game we have tonight here, Ralph.
Delaware has brought it to a 1-point game. Krista Kilmer-Staveski's game plan working well. They've held Delle Donne to just 13 with under a minute to play in the opening half. And so far they haven't been able to get Shantae Evans involved much. Meanwhile, this is what Delaware's resume has already been. It's simply impressive. You're talking about an RPI of 7 out of a league like the Colonial, with big wins, Penn State, Princeton, St. Bonaventure, and some other good ones in the CAA like JMU. They're on their way to what looks to be a 3 or 4 seed, though. It'll be interesting to see how the committee looks at them out of a non-BCS conference.
Well, I think it's going to come down to how they do. How they, number one, they finish this game, how they finish the rest of the way, and if they can go through the CAA conference and finish out undefeated, this team is a legitimate number 4 seed, and they're going to be put into a great situation, and it's going to depend on where they go.
And a lot of people said only a 4 seed, and that's what ESPN.com women's bracketologist Charlie Cream has, which seems a little low for a team with the number 7 RPI. But that's where perhaps some of the subjectivity comes in, is how you deal with a Delaware over a Pac-12 champ, a Big 12 champ. Do you put them in to that first line, that second line?
Well, I think this year they do, and one of the reasons is because of number 11. When you got arguably the number 1, number 2 player in the country, they're going to look at them like a major power when you get to the NCAA tournament.
Miller with Thomas all over her. Shot clock turned off. Delle Donne trying to get free. Inside Miller. Missed the shot. Rebound Parker. Parker will put it in. And the first half comes to an end with Delaware leading Hofstra by 1. The first lead of the night comes at the buzzer. We're coming back with first half highlights and numbers here from Hempstead. A great second half coming up. Hofstra looking for history tonight on Verizon Fios One Sports. Number 10 Delaware with its only lead of the night coming here at halftime, 40-39 over Hofstra in Hempstead, with Scott Green, Ralph Bednarczyk. Our first half being brought to you by Watch ESPN. It's the ESPN Network's live on your smartphone, tablet, and computer. For further details, go to Verizon.com/FiosTV online. In the first half, Hofstra was able to seize control. They led by 5 points a couple of times. Candice Bellocchio, among others, pushing the Pride.
Well, Candice Bellocchio was nothing but sensational in that first half, really finding her way inside the basket. Crazy layups, but finding a way to put it in and pushing the basketball every time down the floor, creating for herself little pull-ups, and then even getting little floaters in the action. And not just that, she knows how to pass the ball. Great plays inside, unselfish, finding a way to finish the play. And then a great look here to Loper, and just to create and keep Hofstra ahead. Elena Deladon comes into this game, one of the top players in the country, really struggled to get her shots off, but when she did, she knocked them down. She would hit from the top. She also creates for herself fadeaway jump shots, and she knows how to also do little step backs. This is her patented move. Look a little like Larry Bird from the Boston Celtics, but she knows how to keep them into the game, and then her ability to really get to the basket, make great passes underneath. When you're 6'5", you can see over the defenses. 14 first half points, 8 rebounds, and a nice first half for Deladon.
Delaware uncharacteristically turning it over 10 times due to some suffocating Hofstra defense.
And the defense has been fantastic. A great plan for Kilburn Staveski. But one of the biggest stats in the game that doesn't even show up here, Shantae Evans with only 2 first half points. That's one of the biggest numbers. If you were to tell me before the game, Ralph, that Shantae Evans would have 2 points at half and Hofstra would be down only 1, it was their only deficit of the game, I would be amazed.
For number 10 Delaware, this is just their 3rd closest halftime score of the season. Hofstra in the game, a chance to make history in the second half. We're coming back on Verizon, Fios One Sports. Moments from starting the second half, number 10 Delaware, a 1-point edge on Hofstra tonight in Hempstead. With Scott Green, Ralph Bednarczyk, let's revisit our Verizon 4-1 keys to the game.
Delaware defensive transition, they got to do a better job getting back. Candice Bellocchio single-handedly really pushing the pressure. Offensive continuity has been a struggle. Great defense on Hofstra. Hofstra's shot selection's been selective at times. Then they're doing a great job pushing the tempo.
Both teams shot well. Hofstra 42%, Delaware 49%. And the statistics so close, the game so close. Delaware with a target on their backs all season. Elena Deladon with a target on her back her entire basketball life has 14 points. And Tina Martin mentioning today at shoot-around, every game people have been coming after us. Once they got into the top 20, they were ranked for the first time in program history as Shantae Evans lost it out of bounds. Now they're in the top 10, and now you have teams with a great sense of urgency like Hofstra. And what a win for them it can do for this season and beyond.
Well, I like the way Hofstra came out, going for Shantae Evans right away, trying to establish her presence inside.
Evans held to just 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting, and Danielle Parker comes out and hits another jumper.
And Danielle Parker can knock that little elbow jumper down. You got to get out and defend that.
Nicole Capurso, big hop step, left the jumper short, and Parker grabs the miss. Lucas, entry pass, Deladon in transition, and she is called for a travel. So that's 3 turnovers on EDD.
Well, that's 3 turnovers right there, 3 traveling violations. That means the defense is doing an exceptional job on her.
And a rare time, she had single coverage. Loper got trapped, hesitated, and puts it in.
And this becomes such important possessions for Hofstra. They can't fall behind. They got to stay within striking distance and try to get this lead back.
Lucas, she found an alley, and she finishes.
Well, now Delaware's starting to find the seams in the Hofstra defense.
Bellocchio quickly up on Karan, tipped it out, and it came right to Parker. So Delaware with its largest lead now of 3. Deladon to the tough fall away, a soft roll.
And I think that's what they were talking about. The coaching staff at half was feeling that maybe Deladon was getting banged around a lot and weren't getting many of the calls, but you could see it there. She got a lot of contact.
She grabs her 9th rebound. She never leaves the floor, missing the shot, tipping it out though to Akima Richards. Right back into Elena. And she was mugged again.
Well, she is so tough, Elena Delle Donne. You get the ball inside to her. It takes 2 defenders to try to stop her, but a great look inside and finding her wide open.
Delle Donne also never leaves the floor. She played all 20 minutes in the first half. Has not had more than 3 fouls in a game this season.